Good day, gentlemen, and welcome to this another tutorial in the production of our two-dimensional drawings. In this tutorial, I want to demonstrate the use of circles. In other words, how is it that we determine which of the circle options are appropriate? However, before we begin, allow me to make some changes to our layers that we would have already created in our templates. From my layers, we would have realized that we would have had our def points layer, our dimensions layer is also here, our hatch layer is here, and we also have our text layer. But if we notice, for the production of this drawing as displayed here, there are other layers which would have been relevant or appropriate. For example, we would need an object line layer in which to produce the object itself. We would also be needing a center line layer on which to represent our center lines for the various circles. So let us launch our layers properties manager. And from that, we'll be able to create the additional layers required. So I am now launching my layers manager, and we would realize the layers that were previously displayed are now displayed in our manager. We will go to our new icon, new layers icon. Notice a new layer is prompted. Let us create a layer on which to put our center lines. Alright. Assign a color that you would want for your center lines to be displayed in. I'm going to be choosing perhaps cyan. So I'm going to let our magenta, perhaps, let my center lines be displayed in magenta. Let's give OK. Notice my magenta color is displayed. In my line type for center line, we do not want for our center lines to be displayed as continuous line. We would want that displayed as a center line. So let us go in and notice center line is not displayed here. So I'm going to go in and load for center line. So just click load, and from the list we are looking for center line. I think I've passed it. Center, here we go. So let's click on that, say OK. Notice it has appeared in your loaded line types. Select it again and give OK. Notice now that your line type for center line is now displayed. Let us go click again and give a new layer on which to represent our object lines. Again, choose a color that you would want your object lines to be displayed at. I'm going to be choosing yellow. I give OK, and my color has been chosen. Now for my object lines though, we do not want for the line type to be center lines, and so we're going to be changing that from center line to continuous. Give OK, and notice that my line type for my object line has been changed to continuous. Let us also change the weight for our object lines. So click on the weights and change that from the pull down to about 0.5 millimeters and give OK. Notice the display has changed. Now let us close our layers manager, and let us continue to start our work on our zero layer. Alright. Now one other thing I would encourage for us to check is what snaps do we have on? What object snaps do we currently have on? So let us click on our arrow for our object snaps. and ensure that you have your endpoint snap on, your midpoint snap on, your center snap on, your intersection snap on, your extension snap on, and your perpendicular snap on. You can go ahead and turn off other snaps if they are currently on. With those snaps on, let's get to drawing. Now, in the production of this drawing, our circles composed of circles. Alright, this is really referred to as circles in contact. To produce drawings of this type, what is important, first of all, is that we be able to locate all centers. Alright? Now, so let me start by using polylines to locate centers. Just to identify where they are, not to really to represent them, but just to identify them. So if I start anywhere on screen to represent my first center point, for example, this center point. Let's say that center point be this point here. It says if I go down 1.26 millimeters and head to my right 2.78 millimeters, give enter. Now that would have taken me to the other center. To get to my third center, which is all the way up here, I need to go upwards 3.54 units. Then I have to be heading to my right 0.86 units, and I give enter. I have located all centers. My first set of circles is going to be situated around this center point at the end of this line. My other set of circles, or my second set of circles, are going to be located on this central point. And my third set of circles are going to be located on this central point. Now let us go ahead and draw our circles. At each center point, you will also notice that there are two circles, notwithstanding the fact that the outer circle, some of it has been removed. Alright, but we are still going to begin or proceed with two circles in mind at each point, and then we will trim away the excess portions. Now, let us switch over to our object lines layer, because we would want to be producing that object using object lines. So I'm going to be switching to my object line. Now here we go. Let us begin by drawing the inner circle at this point. Now notice, we know where the center is for that circle, and we also know the diameter of that circle to be 1 millimeter. So it means from our draw toolbar, we would select our circle pull down, and from that list, we would now recognize that we are supposed to be selecting our circle method that says circle, you know the center, and you know the diameter. So we will click on this option for circles. Now AutoCAD says specify the center point for your circle. We select the point and we click. AutoCAD now asks specify the radius or the diameter for the circle. At this point we type 1. Give enter. AutoCAD has drawn our first circle. For our second circle, the outer circle, notice that circle has radius of 1. So when we retrieve our circle command, we now have to select our first option that says circle center radius. Our center, AutoCAD asks us to specify center. It's at this point. Now ask us to specify the radius. We give 1. Enter. Now we have drawn both circles at my first center point. For my second circle, which is now at this center point, notice the inner circle is of diameter 0.76. Again, from our circle pull down, we choose circle, center, diameter. When AutoCAD asks us to specify the center point, it is now at this point. AutoCAD asks us, what is the diameter? 0.76. Enter. That circle is drawn. Now for our second circle, the larger circle, it has radius 0.75, which means from your circle pull down, we're going to use our radius method this time around. Our center, same spot, and our radius is going to be 0.75. Enter. Now we have drawn both circles at that point. To have that circle on the other point, which is up here, if you notice, they are the same size circles. All we need to do then is to copy, select both objects, press enter, select your center of circle, and copy that center to this point out here. Notice we now have all 3 sets of circles. Allow me to remove my line that I had used to indicate center. Now, all that is left are 3 curves connecting the circles. For that, we go back to our circle option. This time we select tan, radius. Click close to this circle, you get your tangent symbol. Close to this circle, you also get your tangent symbol. And that circle has radius of 1.5. Enter. Notice, a circle has been drawn. Likewise, for the other end, tan radius, it is supposed to be touching this circle, and it has a radius of 2. Enter. Another circle has been drawn. For our third and final circle, tan radius again, it is supposed to be touching this circle, and it has a radius of 1.5. Enter. All that is left is now for us to trim, give enter, and simply click on the pieces of the object that we don't need around. This portion can go, this portion can go, this portion can go, this can go, and this piece is gone. Give enter to escape the command. Our drawing is complete. I hope that helped and that you are now able to produce this object on your own. But please remember, these drawings have to be practiced. So now you have learned to use circles, and different forms of circles are given different instructions. Please join in our next tutorial, where we will be looking at another object and perhaps some different instructions in terms of how to get that drawing done. So until the next tutorial, peace out.